totally fine. I know some, the 6 feet are still doing that. And I'm not wearing a mask because we're outside. Otherwise, I highly recommend wearing your mask when you're inside. But I am super excited to be here today. I haven't brought my waffle. He's over there somewhere because he's really loud. But I am so happy to be here today because this is a really important initiative that we've been working on, and I'm super proud that we're doing this work. Así que buenos días and good morning to everyone. I want to make sure that first, before we start, as the start of our program, we're really lucky today to have the Boy Scout Troop 800, and they're going to do the presentation of the colors and the Pledge of Allegiance. So please join me in the presentation of the colors. You guys stand up.
Color guard, attention. Color guard, advance. Color guard, halt. Color guard, about face. Color guard, present the colors. Everyone, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Color guard. Color guard, declare the colors. Color guard, dismiss.
Thank you. I know it's not appropriate, but can we give him a round of applause? Thank you so much for being here on your Saturday. Well, anyway, good morning. My name is Nora Vargas. I'm the Vice Chair of the San Diego County Board of Supervisors. Welcome to my district and the beautiful city of Chula Vista. I am really proud to be joined by residents, local officials, community partners, and county staff to kick off our county-wide literacy campaign in Chula Vista by unveiling our very own first little library here at Lauderbach Park. Are you excited? I'm serious.
Yes.
So before I became a supervisor, I served as a trustee for Southwestern College, and I was there about 7 years. And I have to be really honest with you. It always broke my heart that we did a lot of work, and I'm still doing a lot of work in partnership with the college. But I don't know how many of you know that it takes about 6 years for students to transfer from a community college to a 4-year university. Right. And a lot of that has to do with requirements related to language and literacy. And so for me, literacy has been something that's really been important and key in my life. And so I wanted to figure out a way to make sure, particularly during this pandemic where we realized that literacy challenges were magnified, right? That a lot of our youth in District 1 had, a lot of their parents were essential workers. And so it was really tough for them to go to the libraries and to be out in the community. And so in 2020, our partners from the San Diego Council on Literacy found that actually about 560,000 local adults only read at elementary school level or not at all. And that 60% of low-income students have no books at all at home. And according to the same data, students in District 1 that meet the language standards are the lowest in the region, between 35 and 40%. In comparison to students that live in Rancho Santa Fe, which are at the 90 percentile. And when it comes to college graduate rates, District 1 follows the same disparities, with students achieving at an 8 to 15% ratio compared to 65% in an area like Rancho Santa Fe. So personally, for me, as someone who grew up in a family where I was very fortunate to have a father who was a professor, and my aunts were teachers, it was really for us common to have books around the house. And my biggest dream when I was a kid is to have a little library in my house, not a little library, but a library in my house. And I do have a library at my house, and it's actually about all women, mostly women authors, because I don't know how many of you know I have a degree in women's studies. And I collect them. So everywhere I travel, I try to find a book and I put them in there. And then more importantly, I try to share it with other people, because for me, reading is such an awesome adventure, right? And so As a longtime education advocate, now serving at the county, I wanted to figure out a way that we as a county can partner up with a lot of the folks that are here today to address the gaps in literacy, to create opportunities for access to culturally and age-appropriate books, and also to amplify the need to boost reading, comprehension, and writing, especially in our communities of color, and emphasize that it was important that you can read in different languages, right? And so I happen to be very fortunate to be able to read and write in both languages. And so I'm so happy to see you. I just saw you. It makes me happy when I see you. I haven't seen you in a long time, so I get very excited. So I'm really, really pleased that we were able to support, that I was able to get the support of the board of supervisors back in March when we introduced this board letter to promote literacy and expand access to reading and learning in community opportunities via this little free library program in the county. And I have to tell you that one of the things that just made my heart so happy was that I've been doing a lot of town halls, even through Zoom and a couple in person. And I did one in San Isidro, and I was so touched by one of the stories of one of the moms who said that she was really happy that we were putting together these little libraries because she would have to take her daughter during the weekends up to La Jolla, up to somewhere like in North County, so that her little daughter can actually exchange books and be able to have access to books. And to me, that just didn't make sense, right? Our kids should be able to go, walk across the street and be able to have opportunities to be able to get these books. And so I am really excited because I think we're working on putting a little library in front of her house too, and so hopefully we'll get to unveil that soon. But for me, I think it's really important that we have these opportunities for our kids. So for those of you who don't know, a little library is free, and it's a book sharing program, right? The motto is take a book and share a book. And so, which means that you can visit a free library and take a book, and you can bring one to share as well. At the County of San Diego, we're very much committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and it was important for me that our little libraries have the ability to create welcoming spaces that bring community members together and provide opportunities to have access to books that are closer to home. So these little libraries will also help reduce the gap for students, particularly in our communities who lack access to transportation to visit our libraries. We still want to encourage them to go to libraries. There's nothing better than going to a library. It's always safe. And then when I was a kid, I was they have air conditioning, so it's also really cool. We didn't have air conditioning in our homes. It was always a great treat during the summer, right? And so we just really want to inspire our children, young adults, seniors, and more to really get out there and read and go on an adventure with us with books. So I'm thrilled that our communities in South County and throughout the region will have access to 40 little libraries to start off with more opening this week in District 1. And I'm going to now introduce our county's library shortly to let you know how we can locate these little libraries because they have a really cool tool. But I wanted to say it really takes a community and government working together to really bring these programs together for our residents. And so before I say some words in Spanish, let me introduce some special guests. I want to thank our county library staff. You want to raise your hand, library staff, county library staff? I want to appreciate the support from our community partners who are here today and some who were not able to make it as well. And so thank you first and foremost to the City of Chula Vista for partnering up with this project. A special thank you to the library staff for your support and the Parks and Rec team for installing the little library. We're really lucky to have Mayor Salas here today with us. So do you want to wave Mayor Salas? And then we are in Council District, Councilwoman Andrea Cardenas's district, so I'm really happy that she's here as well. She's going to be saying a couple of words. And then Councilmember Joe Galvez as well. Welcome. And then a special thank you. We also appreciate the donation. This is really important, of 6,000 books from the San Diego Council on Literacy. So I want to thank Jose Cruz. Thank you so much for your continued work for the last 35 years to expand access to library services throughout the county. And so a special thank you to one of my favorites, Kathy Limbo, because her and, where's Rachel? Rachel's here too, I saw her. There you are, there you are. Rachel and everyone at SBCS for stewarding this little free library and recognizing the importance of this site to bring books closer to this wonderful community. I also want to recognize the President and CEO from United Way, San Diego, Nancy Sasaki, a good friend. Thank you for being here, Nancy. Kristen Shira from the Children's Initiative. Kristen, where are you? Jen Seeger, resident of Coronado, for their donation of books and support for our program. Where's Jean? Where's Jean? Is she here? And then last but not least, thank you to Rachel Oros from Words Alive for providing logistical support for transportation, sorting, and organizing other books. So now I'd like to, I'm going to share a few words in Spanish before I'm going to have some folks come up, pero nomás rápidamente para platicarles, para decirles que estoy muy contenta, muy agradecida que están ustedes aquí conmigo para la inauguración de esta pequeña biblioteca gratuita aquí en la ciudad de Chula Vista. Esta pequeña biblioteca es parte de un nuevo programa del Condado de San Diego que tenemos el honor de haber introducido en la Junta de Supervisores en marzo. Antes de tomar mi cargo como supervisora, pues yo tenía la gran oportunidad de representar a la comunidad en Southwestern College, y una de las cosas que a mí me interesaba mucho es ver de qué manera podíamos asegurarnos que nuestros estudiantes tuvieran acceso a libros, ya que el lenguaje y la lectura eran los problemas más grandes que teníamos en la escuela para que los estudiantes pudieran transferirse, porque muchos de ellos, para transferirse de una universidad, del colegio a la universidad, estaban durando casi 6 años y tenía mucho que ver con el nivel de lectura y de comprensión que tenían. Entonces, para mí es muy importante hacer todo lo posible para que nuestros estudiantes en esta comunidad tengan el acceso que necesitan para poder tener los libros que ellos quieren leer, para que no solamente se vayan en una aventura, pero para que puedan llegar a un nivel en donde puedan competir y poder seguir adelante. Yo tuve la gran fortuna de crecer en una familia donde mis tías todas eran maestras, y mi papá es profesor de la universidad. Entonces nosotros teníamos que leer, como quien dice, a fuerzas, pero de todos modos para mí siempre ha sido, los libros siempre han sido son como mis amigos, ¿verdad? Porque puedes leer con ellos, y te puedes perder en una aventura o un romance, lo que sea, y siempre es un tiempo muy bonito para poder pasar ese tiempo aprendiendo y leyendo. Así que me da muchísimo gusto estar aquí con ustedes, me da gusto que tenemos esta oportunidad de dar estas oportunidades, porque más que nada por nuestros jóvenes, ¿verdad? Me tocó conocer a una niña, a la mamá de una niña en uno de mis eventos, y la señora me platicaba que ella los fines de semana se tiene que ir a La Joya, a otros lugares en el norte de San Diego, para poder buscar las pequeñas bibliotecas para que su hija pudiera tener nuevos libros, ya que no existían aquí en el sur de San Diego, en el condado. Y pues eso, para mí, yo lo que pienso es que eso no se vale, ¿no? Que nuestros niños también necesitan esas oportunidades. Y muchos de ellos, esta niña, gracias a Dios, tenía una mamá que la podía llevar, y iban y venían, pero muchos de nuestros niños no tienen esa accesibilidad porque nuestros padres están trabajando, etcétera, etcétera. Entonces, me da muchísimo gusto estar aquí, me da mucho gusto que nuestros miembros del concilio están aquí, nuestra regidora, nuestras regidoras y la alcaldesa también nos acompaña, y las organizaciones que han hecho tanto por ayudarnos. Esa es solamente una de las primeras bibliotecas que vamos a tener en el distrito, así que estoy muy contenta y muy emocionada. Entonces ahora me da con mucho gusto introducir a nuestra regidora de esta región, a la Councilwoman Andrea Cárdenas. So it's my honor to introduce my good friend Andrea Cárdenas, who is our council member in this region.
Well, good morning, everyone. Buenos días. I am so excited to be here today, not only because I grew up a few blocks from here, but because it's such a critical part of our upbringing to be able to have access to books, and to have books that are not just children's books, but books that are culturally competent and that are accessible to our communities. Similarly to our supervisor, I was very fortunate that I had parents that instilled reading in me since I was a very young kid. I had a dad who would make sure that he was buying a volume of an encyclopedia every week with the newspaper, you know. That's something that I know cemented my passion for education, for research, for all of the things that have led me to where I am today. Unfortunately, that's not the case for a lot of kids and a lot of folks in our communities, because our priorities are not always there, because we have to make sure that, you know, we're paying rent, we're doing all of these other things that are so critical to make sure that our kids have food, right? They have shelter. It's not okay for that to be compromised, for our children's education to be compromised, for our children's upbringing to be compromised. I'm so happy and so excited that our supervisor has led the way to make sure that this is something that is a priority, that this is something that has importance, because education is the way that our communities build up. Education is the way that our communities are going to rise up. And I am so excited that the first one is in my district. I'm thrilled that it's going to create access to words and stories and adventure for so many kids that haven't had that access to it before. I want to thank the county staff so much for doing this, and our city staff for working together with the county to do this. When Supervisor Vargas and I were both running for office, we both said it's about collaboration. It's about making sure that we're bringing together our community partners, the county, the city, to make sure that at the end of the day, the people that we're serving get what they need, and that it's in the best service of our community to have all of us working with one mission, and that's to make sure that we're bringing resources back to our communities, that we're bringing tools and opportunities to the folks that need it the most. So I'm really excited to be here. I'm really excited that we're opening this up, and I can't wait to see where else they do them. I'm trying to see if we can get one in front of my house, so that we can make sure that we have them all around the city, specifically my district because I'm selfish, but everywhere else as well. Thank you, guys.
All right, so now, thank you for those kind words. It is now my pleasure to introduce the San Diego County Library Director, Miguel Acosta, who's worked so hard to make this project accessible to everyone. And I would tell you that, I met him like 8 months ago. I didn't have the pleasure of meeting him before, and he was one of the first meetings that I have. You come join me as I tell the story. And the first thing, I want to do an initiative on the libraries and all that, and he was like, oh my God, yes! We were so thrilled on Zoom. We wanted to come in and hug each other, but anyway, it's a pleasure very much. So please join me.
Thank you, Supervisor Vargas, and I offer my sincere and heartfelt gratitude to all of you for joining us today as we celebrate and affirm in one united voice that learning and literacy are vital and important to every child and to every community. We will be installing 40 Little Free libraries throughout the county over the coming months. 20 of them are being installed at our county parks, and 20 more are being installed by various city parks and community partners in collaboration in their neighborhoods, such as this beautiful first installation here in Chula Vista. And we will work hard so that by next summer, we have a total of 100 Little Free libraries throughout the county. This is truly a community effort that was started by Supervisor Vargas and her colleagues on the board, but it has become so much more. We've worked in partnership with the San Diego Council on Literacy, who's just been wonderful, the Children's Initiative, other library jurisdictions, other county and city departments, community-based organizations, and volunteer groups. I have to say I've been a librarian almost 30 years, and this is the first project I did where there was just this outpouring from the community of, we want to help, what can we do? And so it's just, it's that feeling of, for those of us who had that experience of early literacy, whether it was our parents or other people in our family who supported reading for us, you just see that like so heartfelt throughout the community. And so it's just been wonderful outpouring. So really the gratitude is all for you folks who've stepped forward and helped us out with this project. So the way we designed this to work is each of the Little Free libraries will have a volunteer steward, which it might be an individual or it might be a community group. And really the job is just to monitor the library and make sure that, books are flowing, that it's nice and neat. And however, when more books are needed, we're here to help. Our partners, Jose's been fantastic. Like you heard, 6,000 books, and there's other donations that are coming our way. We have all of our libraries have Friends of the Library group, and they want to donate. And we have resources to purchase books as well. So we just want to see this become a real community effort to keep these Little Free libraries vibrant and get the books out in the hands of children and the community members who could really use it. Studies show that enhancing a child's access to books at home increases opportunity for long-term learning success, as we heard already from some of our speakers. And so at the county library, and all libraries, let's be honest, we encourage reading in every way to develop skills, nurture hope, and motivate a love of reading. Supervisor mentioned early a website we have. So our county library website is sdcl.org, but if you add a /LFL for Little Free Library, you'll see all the libraries that we're installing, all the ones that will be installed, and then there's a link, because this is a nationwide effort, and there's a map where you could see libraries actually throughout the country, but you can focus your search on your community and see where they are. So that's a great resource that we've been building. And then I do want to, we've recognized Chula Vista's own wonderful library, but I'd like to recognize your wonderful city librarian, Joy Watley.
Yay, Joy.
There she is. Hi, Joy. And so you have a wonderful library system, so that's like the next level, right? So it's local neighborhood, it's digital library, and it's your local library. And so just as an example of how Chula Vista supports literacy, they have a ready-to-read story time every Wednesday at 11:15 a.m. They have a bilingual story time, which is so important, Thursdays at 5 p.m. And Joy offers a special invitation to check out the newest museum exhibit celebrating 100 years of Chula Vista Fire Department. And you can even see the fire engine named the Goose, which has been rebuilt inside the library. So make sure, after you get a book from the Little Free Library, go get another book from the Chula Vista Library. And then finally, just to conclude my comments, so county library staff are tremendously proud and invested to work and to bring this event together and the project together, but I'm sure they will understand if I single out one of my staff in particular, Laura Zuckerman. Laura, wave, give us a wave. Laura Zuckerman, on normal days, she's the branch manager for our our Valley Center Library, but she has a background in creating these little free libraries. And so when this project came to fruition, I gave her a call and said, could you help out? Oh my God, what a dynamo Laura has been. She's done site visits at all the locations. Her husband helped her install the very first one, which is a big learning lesson about how to get these things in and make them look nice, how to paint them, which is an effort. So Laura, thank you so much. And then Supervisor, if you indulge me just one more time, Charles Jarman, where are you, Charles? Charles, I'd like to honor Charles Jarman. Charles this is his very last day with the county library. He's retiring from county service after 15 years of service, and Charles has played a huge role. So he's our project manager for all the new libraries that we build. So the most recently renovated Bonita Library, Charles, that was his project, and he's built about 5 libraries for us in his time. So Charles, we love you so much. Thank you so much. And with that, Supervisor, I will take my leave of the podium. Thank you so much.
And now, thank you again for all the good work the county is doing, and to all of our librarians here. It's so important. So our work would not be successful without the support of community partners who have been key in securing book donations to ensure our little libraries are stocked with culturally and age-appropriate books. And so, representing the partners, please welcome Jose Cruz, CEO for the San Diego Council on Literacy.
Thank you, Supervisor Vargas. This is my 36th year in literacy, and what I've noticed over decades is somehow, some way, when you need things, the partners show up. And so, Supervisor Vargas, just coming into her new position, having this as a priority, our partnership with Miguel Acosta and all the folks at the San Diego County Library, the Molina Foundation, for the books that they donated to us. It's just been a thing, and it just seems like it has a purpose. I want to say this. Look at this thing. And we have to remember, yes, they're only age 1 month, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years old. But all they are is learning. That's all they know how to do is learn. And they notice. See, we have so much messaging coming to us through different channels. People are trying to sell us stuff. Look at your cell phone, online, you turn on your TV, everything. And so what is this world about? What is happening in our society is a lot of sales. And so I've always asked, and we always ask, the messages that we're sending to our kids and what we're sending with this little free library and 99 more little free libraries and the ones that are existing in these settings is reading is important. And someone said it, the real issue when you look at the statistics is access to resources. It really is an access gap. The superintendent of the San Diego County Office of Education said, we don't talk about the achievement gap anymore. We talk about the resource gap. Because if you look at that, then you know why we have what we have. And so we have to close that gap. And that's what this does. Thank you. So thank you to all the partners. I just want to say one more thing. Recreation is recreation. Reading is rebuilding. And if you give a child a chance, a book, you read to them, expose them to print and language, vocabulary. They do all the things a lot of people here have done in their lives, right? And so give them a chance. We always say, our kids who don't have books at home, are they supposed to be as smart or smarter than other kids to do as much with less? So this addresses that challenge because our kids are just as smart in this community and other communities where you don't quite see the resources. So we're going to fix those numbers, and we're all working together to do it. The mission of the San Diego Council on Literacy is to unite the community to support literacy. We're just in the middle. Maybe we're a little bit of uniter, but we don't unite unless people want that unification. And so let's be united about this because it's so important. Such a great day, so exciting. So glad to see all of you here. And let's see more of these and be at more of these. Thank you very much.
All right, let's give him another big round of applause. It's so exciting to see so many folks stepping up. And last but definitely not least, if there's one organization that's always ready to step up, I don't know that they knew that they were going to work this hard when I got elected because I just go for everything. I mean, they always went very hard, which is my how I got to know them through the community in my other roles as well. But I'm really happy that they're going to be serving as stewards for this little library, free library, because everything they do exceptionally well. And so they are going to be the example for our community and our region. So please help me welcome SBCS CEO and President Kathy Linder.
Thank you, Vice Chair Vargas. You know, one of the things that's really important is resources, like Jose said, and having this resource in a park that is redone and beautiful thanks to the city, and in a community center that is just starting to really flourish thanks to the city letting us use that. There's resources in there that is not only counseling and drop-in centers for young people, but a soon-to-be installed commercial kitchen to do some culinary arts training for the community. But the whole thing about literacy and about resources in this community is because of our resident leaders and our promotores. And I know I see you guys all around the place. I want you guys to raise your hands really high because you're the ones who really make this happen. Let me tell you, these individuals, both paid and unpaid, have done phenomenal things in the community. One of the things they did in the first year of Chula Vista Promise Neighborhoods is they raised the reading scores at Castle Park Elementary School in the 3rd grade by 30% in 1 year. Wow. It was then partnering with the schools and others in the community. And they're still starting to make unbelievable things happen and really care about the community. And they are the power behind SBCS, just like all of our staff. And Rachel and Jose, you guys are always good. This morning they were removing graffiti so that we all could have a pleasant view, so thanks a lot. And Vice Chair Vargas, you always make things fun for me, so thanks.
And with that, the moment that you all have been waiting for, I'm really grateful again to everyone for the support of our literacy campaign. This is only the beginning, and we're going to make sure that we're following through because we want to see those numbers change. We want to make sure that everyone is having access to books in our little libraries. And so, because we know that they make a real big difference in people's lives. And so now is the moment, and so I'd like to invite our local elected officials and community partners. Vénganse las promotoras. I think it'd be great. I mean, you know, we have to do it here, but if folks, okay, if folks can be like in the back, I think it'll look really, it'll be really nice. So come with me, and we're gonna go ahead and. Thank you.
Yeah, no, they're real.
Okay. All right.
I need a little gap. I need a little bit of a gap for the library. That's what we can. With the library.
All right. I'm gonna count down from 3 to 1. Are you all ready? All right. 3, 2. Are you ready with the cameras? 3, 2, 1.
Where do they get the books?